Hey, Stoic warrior. Pause for a second and be honest with yourself. How many times have you walked into a day already preparing for the worst? How many opportunities have you sabotaged? Not because life blocked you, but because doubt walked in first. Most people live in a silent war with their own minds. They overthink, they fear outcomes, they brace for impact even when life isn't attacking. But a Stoic moves with a different rhythm. A Stoic acts with a calm certainty, a quiet inner voice that says, "Whatever happens, I will shape it. Whatever comes, I will use it." Marcus Aurelius wrote that the world may test you, but your response decides everything. And that's what this video is about. Stepping into each day as if everything is aligning for you, not because you're naive, but because you've trained your mind to stand unshaken. Tonight, we'll uncover 6 Stoic truths that will rewire how you walk, think, decide, and overcome. 1. Your mind creates the outcome. Twice. Before anything becomes real in your life, it has already unfolded in your mind. That's the foundation of this truth. Most people assume outcomes are shaped by luck, timing, or external circumstances. But a Stoic understands something far more powerful. Every outcome is created twice. Once in thought and once in action. The mind is where the blueprint is written, long before the physical world follows. Look at how people live today. They rehearse failure without even noticing it. They walk into conversations expecting awkwardness or rejection. They begin new ideas with the quiet belief that it probably won't work. They enter relationships bracing for disappointment, as if heartbreak is a script they're forced to read. And when your mind embraces that story repeatedly, your behavior naturally falls in line with it. You hesitate, you self-doubt, you over-explain. You choose comfort over movement, safety over courage, and fear over clarity. Eventually, the very outcome you dreaded becomes the one you create. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." It wasn't poetry, it was instruction. It means that the internal colors you choose become the reality you walk through. Think chaotic thoughts. Your decisions will be chaotic. Expect hostility. You'll see threats everywhere. Predict disappointment. You'll unknowingly sabotage anything good that appears. But if you discipline your inner world, if you train yourself to expect alignment, not because life owes it to you, but because you trust your own actions, your behavior elevates. And when your behavior elevates, your outcomes naturally follow. Think about the last time you acted from a place of calm certainty instead of fear. Maybe it was an interview where your words flowed effortlessly. Maybe it was a hard conversation where you didn't collapse emotionally. Maybe it was a challenge where you took the right action without spiraling in your head first. Notice this. The outcome didn't give you confidence. Your confidence shaped the outcome. You walked in aligned, grounded, unshaken, and the world responded to that energy. Stoics practiced this on purpose. They used premeditatio not to catastrophize life, but to sharpen readiness. They visualized themselves handling adversity with clarity and strength, so when real adversity arrived, their minds were already trained. They weren't imagining success as fantasy. They were conditioning identity. They were rehearsing steadiness. They were preparing the inner world so the outer world could not destabilize them. Modern society gets this wrong. People talk about goals while acting with hesitation. They imagine success but behave timidly. They read motivational quotes but spiral at the first sign of pressure. They want peace, yet practice panic every single day. Your life will never outrun the story you repeat internally. The mind is always the first battlefield and the first victory. Here is the Stoic practice that changes everything. Before you take action, define the internal posture you will bring into the moment, not the outcome. The posture. Who are you being as you walk into that room? Who are you being as you speak that truth? Who are you being as you face uncertainty? See yourself entering the situation with a steady breath. See yourself responding instead of reacting. See yourself grounded, disciplined, and clear. Let that identity sit in your body for a few seconds, then move. Because identity leads action, and action leads outcome. Do this consistently, and you stop living reactively. You stop letting your environment decide who you are. You stop letting fear write the script. Instead, you become the one who sets the tone. You become the one who shapes the direction. You become the one who carries a calm internal authority that influences everything around you. Tonight, write down one situation in your life where your mind automatically rehearses the worst. It could be a conversation, a goal, a risk, or a decision you've been avoiding. Then rewrite the internal script. Describe in one clear sentence how the Stoic version of you, the grounded, intentional, disciplined version, would walk into that moment tomorrow morning. Read that sentence out loud. Let it become the blueprint, and throughout the day, act from that internal alignment. Step into the identity first. Let the world adjust second. 2. Detach from outcome. Trust. Right action. Most people live trapped inside a single exhausting belief. If the outcome doesn't go my way, I've failed. That belief destroys calm, clarity, and confidence. It turns every goal into anxiety, every relationship into fear, every challenge into self-doubt. People obsess so deeply over results that they forget the only thing they actually control: their actions. And when you cling to outcomes you can't control, life becomes a constant negotiation with worry. A Stoic approaches life from the opposite direction. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control, while others are not." That is not just a quote. It is a survival skill. It means your responsibility ends where your control ends. You're responsible for your effort, your clarity, your strategy, your patience, your discipline. But you are not responsible for how others respond, how timing unfolds, or which opportunities arrive. Once your action is honest and aligned, the rest belongs to life. Look at how modern people operate. They launch a project and immediately panic about whether it will succeed. They message someone they care about, then spiral wondering how it will be received. They go to an interview wanting the job so badly that their nervousness ruins their presence. They try something new while fearing judgment so intensely that they never show their real self. Attachment makes them rigid. Rigid minds break easily. When you detach from outcome, something powerful happens. Your mind relaxes. Your decisions sharpen. Your emotions settle. Your actions become cleaner, more confident, more efficient. Detachment isn't indifference, it's strength. It's telling yourself, I will show up fully, I will act with virtue, and whatever comes afterward, I will handle it. Imagine two people running toward the same goal. One is obsessed with the result, panicking at every obstacle, overthinking every detail, constantly imagining what might go wrong. The other focuses only on the next correct step, learning, adjusting, improving, breathing, moving. The first burns out, collapses under pressure. The second gains momentum. Same goal, different relationship to the outcome. Detachment doesn't mean lowering standards. It means elevating composure. Think about the moments in your own life where you performed your best. Most likely, the times when you spoke clearly, acted boldly, or solved a problem quickly were the moments when you weren't thinking about how things might turn out. You were simply present, steady, grounded in the moment. When the mind is uncluttered by fear, the action becomes powerful. Stoics lived by a simple formula: right action, accept outcome, adapt, continue. Not because they were emotionless, but because they refused to give the world the power to control their inner state. They understood that outcomes fluctuate, but virtue does not. The world moves, but character stays. Results shift, but your principles remain your anchor. Think about love. You cannot control who stays. Think about opportunities. You cannot control timing. Think about success. You cannot control when the door opens, but you can control how you show up to each moment. And that is where the true power is. Here is the Stoic practice. Every morning, ask yourself one question. What is the next right action I can take today? Not the perfect action. Not the action that guarantees success. Just the next right one. One step rooted in clarity rather than fear. One decision rooted in intention rather than panic. Throughout the day, return to this question whenever your mind starts grasping at outcomes. Notice the spiral. Pause. Detach. Redirect your focus back to the present action, the only place where your power actually exists. Tonight, take a situation you've been obsessively worrying about, a result you desperately want or fear losing. Then write 2 simple lists. List 1. What is inside your control? List 2. What is outside your control? Then make a commitment. Everything in list 1 gets your discipline. Everything in list 2 gets your release. Walk into tomorrow not chasing certainty, but practicing right action. Because when your actions are aligned, disciplined, and grounded, outcomes tend to align themselves. Over time, life begins to work with you, not against you. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped clinging to what was never yours to control. 3. Obstacles turn into alignment. Most people fear obstacles because they believe obstacles mean something is going wrong. But a Stoic sees obstacles differently. A Stoic understands that setbacks, delays, and disruptions aren't signs of misalignment. They are often the very forces creating alignment. The road doesn't always open for you. Sometimes it pushes back, slows you down, redirects you, or challenges you so you can grow into the person capable of carrying the life you want. Marcus Aurelius wrote one of the most powerful sentences in philosophy. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. He wasn't being poetic. He was explaining a law of reality. Obstacles don't block your path. They shape your path. They sculpt your resilience, your clarity, your standards, your identity. If everything came easily, you wouldn't develop the strength needed to maintain success once you reach it. Think about the challenges you've faced recently, the moments that felt like life was working against you. A failed plan, a closed door, a person who disappointed you, a season of uncertainty. At the time, those moments felt like barriers. But looking back, can you see how many of those barriers guided you towards something better? A better opportunity, a better relationship, a better version of yourself. Obstacles reveal what you're ready for and what you're not. They test your discipline. They humble your ego. They expose weaknesses you didn't want to see but needed to face. And they force you to build the internal muscles that easy times never require. Patience, adaptability, grit, emotional regulation, and strategic thinking. In life, you are always being shaped, either passively by fear or actively by challenge. Let's look at modern life. People quit because something is difficult, not realizing that difficulty is the filter separating the average from the extraordinary. People complain when timing doesn't match their expectation, not realizing the delay is building the skill they're missing. People interpret rejection as a dead end, not knowing it's often protection or redirection. The Stoic mindset flips the script. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a Stoic asks, "What is this here to teach me?" Imagine 2 people facing the same obstacle. One panics, withdraws, blames the world, and assumes life is unfair. The other pauses, breathes, studies the situation, and adjusts their approach. Same obstacle, different relationship with reality. different outcome. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They are checkpoints. They ensure you're becoming the version of yourself that can handle the future you're asking for. If you want strength, the universe will give you resistance. If you want clarity, it will give you confusion to sort through. If you want discipline, it will give you temptation to overcome. If you want success, it will give you challenges that sharpen your skill and character. Here is the Stoic practice. Tonight, list 3 obstacles you're currently facing. Next to each obstacle, write what alignment message it might contain. For example, this setback is teaching me patience. This rejection is redirecting me towards something better. This challenge is strengthening a skill I'll need later. This isn't blind positivity. It's strategic reframing. It doesn't deny the difficulty. It gives the difficulty meaning. And meaning is what transforms suffering into power. When you adopt this mindset, obstacles lose their threat. You stop seeing them as enemies and start seeing them as teachers. You stop collapsing under pressure and start rising because of it. Most importantly, you stop believing life is against you and start realizing it is shaping you. Walk forward knowing this. Every challenge you face is making you more prepared, more capable, and more aligned. Not despite the obstacle, but because of it. 4. Calm behavior attracts better outcomes. In a world of hurry, panic, and emotional reactivity, calm has become a rare superpower. Most people don't realize how expensive panic is. It drains clarity, damages communication, destroys presence, and leads to sloppy decisions. The irony is brutal. The more people want things to go well, the more they panic, and the more they ruin the very outcome they're trying to protect. A Stoic moves differently. Calm is not a personality trait. It is a practiced discipline. It is the ability to hold steady when circumstances spin, to breathe when others rush, to observe when others react. Calm is not passive. It is strategic. It creates space in the mind, and space creates better decisions. Think about any situation you've mishandled. Chances are the problem wasn't lack of intelligence. It was lack of calm. You said something too quickly. You reacted emotionally. You panicked under pressure. You tightened up in a conversation and lost your words. You over-explained, over-apologized, or over-corrected. When the nervous system is overloaded, your judgment collapses. But look at the moments where you performed at your best. You were calm, your tone was steady, your thoughts were clear, your actions were deliberate. Calm didn't just improve the moment, it improved the outcome. This is why calm people seem lucky. It's not luck, it's self-command. Calm people negotiate better. Calm people see opportunities others miss. Calm people communicate in a way others respect. Calm people carry a presence that makes people trust them. In relationships, calm dissolves conflict. In business, calm creates confidence. In decision-making, calm reveals clarity. In adversity, calm reveals strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Meaning, the source of chaos is not the event, it's the reaction. And reaction is always your choice. Let's look at modern life, at the habits that kill calm, endless notifications, constant comparison, overthinking tiny details, predicting catastrophes that haven't happened, rushing to respond instantly to everything, carrying emotional tension in your shoulders and chest. This is why people crumble under the slightest pressure. They've practiced panic for years. The Stoic alternative is simple but powerful. The pause, the moment before reaction, the breath before words, the silence before decisions. Pause is where your power lives. In conflict, a pause prevents escalation. In uncertainty, a pause reveals options. In stress, a pause resets your nervous system. In conversation, a pause commands attention. In pressure, a pause buys clarity. People often confuse calm with weakness. But calm is what allows you to choose your response instead of being dragged by impulse. Calm is not the absence of emotion. It is the control of emotion. Imagine two people in the same crisis. One panics, becomes frantic, speaks quickly, and makes a rushed decision that creates bigger problems. The other pauses, observes, breathes deep, and speaks slowly. Same situation, different presence, different outcome. Here is the Stoic practice. Whenever your mind starts to spiral, use the 3-step Stoic pause. Breathe, inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Detach, step outside the moment mentally. Imagine watching yourself from above. Decide, choose the response that aligns with your values, not your fear. This practice rewires your nervous system. It trains your mind to seek clarity before reaction. And over time, people begin responding to you differently. Because your calm changes the entire dynamic of the room. Tonight, reflect on a situation where you reacted too quickly. Ask yourself, what emotion controlled me? What would a calm version of me have done? How would the outcome have changed? Tomorrow, practice one moment of intentional calm. It could be during traffic, a disagreement, a stressful message, or an unexpected setback. In that moment, pause. Let the nervous system settle. Then act. As you strengthen this discipline, you'll notice something remarkable. Life becomes easier. Not because challenges disappear, but because your presence becomes unshakable. And when you're calm, outcomes naturally align, because clarity always outperforms panic. Calm is not just a skill, it's a magnet. It draws better decisions, better people, better opportunities, and better results into your life. 5. Your standards create reality. Most people think life is shaped by external forces, by circumstances, opportunities, or luck. But a Stoic understands a deeper truth. Your standards quietly determine the quality of your entire life. Your standards shape your behavior shapes your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. Before the world decides anything for you, you decide what you tolerate, what you demand of yourself, and what you refuse to negotiate. Look around at the patterns in your life. Every area where you feel strong, respected, or progressing is an area where your standards are high. Every area where you feel drained, disrespected, or stuck is an area where your standards have slipped, sometimes without you noticing. People think goals change their lives, but goals mean nothing if your standards remain low. You can want success, but if your standards allow procrastination, distractions, and laziness, success will never take root. You can want better relationships, but if your standards allow inconsistency, dishonesty, or disrespect, you'll keep experiencing the same pain. You can want peace, but if your standards allow chaos, gossip, or emotional reactivity, peace will always be out of reach. Seneca said it clearly: associate with those who will make you better. But this principle applies far beyond friendships. It applies to everything you accept into your life. What you tolerate becomes your normal. What you allow becomes your pattern. What you settle for becomes your future. Let's examine modern life. Most people operate on default settings set by convenience, fatigue, or insecurity. They wake up late because it's hard. They stay in draining relationships because it's complicated. They avoid difficult conversations because it's uncomfortable. They choose impulse over discipline because it's easier. And slowly, quietly, their standards dissolve. Not all at once, but bit by bit, decision by decision, until one day they look at their life and barely recognize it. A Stoic does the opposite. A Stoic protects their standards as if their future depends on it, because it does. They refuse to let external noise dilute internal principles. They hold the line even when no one is watching, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's difficult. High standards don't make life rigid. They make life focused. And focus is what turns intention into achievement. Think of the people you admire. The disciplined ones, the grounded ones, the ones who seem to move through life with clarity. What sets them apart isn't talent or luck. It's standards. They train when they don't feel like it. They speak honestly even when it's awkward. They keep their word even when it costs them. They choose quality over convenience. They refuse to live below the level they expect of themselves. Your standards are a mirror. They reflect your relationship with yourself. If your standards are low, it's because you believe you deserve little. If your standards are high, it's because you believe you deserve more, and you're willing to act like it. So here is the Stoic practice. Identify 3 non-negotiable standards you will no longer compromise. These could be: I do not break promises to myself. I do not stay where I am disrespected. I do not delay actions that matter. I do not let emotions dictate my choices. I do not allow chaos into my inner circle. Write them down. Say them out loud. Let them become the rules you live by. Then, observe your daily actions through these standards. Did you keep your word today? Did you hold your boundaries? Did you choose discipline over impulse? Did you protect your peace? Did you walk like someone who respects themselves? Standards reshape your path, one choice at a time. Raise them, and your environment will begin to shift. Raise them, and your relationships will refine themselves. Raise them, and your opportunities will improve. Raise them, and life will start matching the level you hold yourself to. Because the truth is simple, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're willing to stand for. 6. Act as if you cannot lose. There is a distinct difference between people who move through life with quiet power and those who constantly hesitate. Powerful people act as if they cannot lose, not because they believe everything will magically go their way, but because they trust themselves to adapt, adjust, and rise no matter what happens. That inner posture changes everything: your energy, your presence, your decisions, and ultimately, your results. Most people live with a losing mindset long before life ever challenges them. They enter opportunities cautiously, already preparing an escape. They speak softly, afraid their words might sound wrong. They start projects while mentally rehearsing failure. They pursue goals while quietly doubting if they are worthy of them. That internal insecurity leaks into every action, and insecure actions create insecure outcomes. A Stoic lives differently. When a Stoic acts, they act with wholeness, as if the path is already unfolding in their favor, not because they expect perfection, but because they trust their ability to face whatever comes. This is not arrogance. This is not delusion. This is identity. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." He meant that identity precedes action. You must decide who you are before you act, not after. When you carry the identity of someone who cannot be broken, setbacks don't intimidate you. Rejection doesn't derail you. Delay doesn't diminish you. You move with an unbothered steadiness that becomes magnetic. Think about athletes before competition. They don't walk into the arena thinking, "I hope this goes well." They walk in with the posture of someone ready to dominate. Focused eyes, grounded breath, controlled energy. They act as if victory is within reach, not guaranteed, but possible enough to fight for with full force. That attitude alone improves their performance. Leaders do the same. Entrepreneurs do the same. Warriors, ancient and modern, do the same. They don't approach life timidly. They approach it with a presence that says, "I'm here, I'm ready, I'm not backing down. Here's the truth. When you act from fear, you shrink your potential. When you act from confidence, you expand it. Life responds to the energy you bring. People treat you based on the way you carry yourself. Opportunities open for those who move decisively. Even obstacles soften when met with a grounded spirit. Most people sabotage themselves long before any external failure occurs. They talk themselves out of trying. They wait for perfect conditions. They delay until the moment passes. They avoid taking the first step because they fear embarrassment. But a Stoic understands that embarrassment is temporary. Regret is forever. Acting as if you cannot lose doesn't mean ignoring fear. It means moving anyway. It means choosing courage over self-doubt. It means stepping into rooms, conversations, and decisions with a posture that says, I will give everything I have, and whatever happens, I will handle it. Imagine living that way for the next year. How many relationships would improve because you communicated clearly? How many opportunities would appear because you acted boldly? How many dreams would begin because you finally took the first step? How much internal peace would you gain simply by trusting yourself? Here is the Stoic practice. Every morning, before you begin your day, ask, how would I act today if I believed nothing could stop me? Not in a loud, ego-driven way, but in a calm, grounded, unshakable way. Then carry that energy into the smallest tasks. How you walk, how you breathe, how you speak, how you respond, how you make decisions, how you set boundaries, how you pursue goals. Identity is built in small moments, not grand gestures. Tonight, choose one situation you've been avoiding. A conversation, a decision, a risk, a commitment. Write down how the strongest version of you would approach it. Then, tomorrow, act from that version. Not the timid self, not the anxious self, the aligned self, the disciplined self, the self that refuses to fold. When you act as if you cannot lose, you stop negotiating with fear. You stop overvaluing obstacles. You stop shrinking for the comfort of others. You begin living with dignity, direction, and quiet confidence. And slowly, life starts meeting you at the level of your courage. 7. Day Stoic Reset. Ritual. Rebuild your identity in 1 week. Most people want a better life, a calmer mind, and a stronger inner world. But they try to achieve these things randomly. A good day here, a bad day there. A burst of motivation followed by a crash. Nothing changes because nothing is structured. Stoics understood that transformation isn't an accident. It is a ritual, a repetition, a deliberate resetting of the mind again and again until strength becomes natural. This 7-day Stoic reset is not a challenge. It is a realignment. Each day targets one psychological pillar: your story, your control, your attention, your resilience, your identity, your discipline, and your direction. 7 days, 7 identities sharpened. 7 shifts that will change the way you walk into the world. Day 1. Rewrite your story. Every person carries a private story that influences how they think, behave, and react. For many, that story is filled with self-doubt, old wounds, and limitations inherited from past experiences. A Stoic begins by rewriting the narrative. Tonight, write a 1-page new story about yourself. Not who you were, but who you are becoming. Describe the version of you who is calm, disciplined, centered, and unshakable. This isn't fantasy, it's direction. Your mind needs a script before it can build a new identity. Day 2. The Control Circle. Audit. Most anxiety comes from trying to control what was never yours. Today, draw 2 circles. Inner circle. What you genuinely control. Outer circle. What you do not control. Place every worry inside the correct circle. Then make a vow. Everything inside the inner circle gets your discipline. Everything outside gets your release. This single day can cut your stress by half because your mind finally stops wrestling with the uncontrollable. Day 3. Silent Morning Ritual. For one morning, do not pick up your phone, do not turn on noise, do not distract your mind. Wake up and give yourself 20 minutes of silence. Breathing, stretching, journaling, or simply sitting in awareness. Silence is a mirror. It reveals the truth beneath your overthinking. It's in silence that Stoics sharpen their perception and regain ownership of their attention. Day 4. Turn obstacles into messages. Today, list 3 obstacles you're facing. Next to each one, write what lesson or alignment signal it contains. A delay may be teaching patience. A rejection may be protection. A difficulty may be building strength. Then rewrite each obstacle as a sentence, beginning with, "This is helping me become." You are training your mind to see life as a partner, not an enemy. Day 5. Practice detachment. For one full day, practice not reacting emotionally to outcomes. If something goes wrong, breathe first. If someone irritates you, pause before speaking. If a plan changes, stay flexible. Detachment isn't coldness, it's emotional mastery. You are teaching your nervous system to remain steady regardless of external shifts. This single day will show you how often your suffering came not from events, but from your interpretation. Day 6. Act without worry. Choose one action you've been avoiding because of fear, doubt, or overthinking. A message, a decision, a task, a conversation. Do it today, without waiting to feel ready. Do it with a steady breath and a calm posture. This day builds courage in real time. You'll discover that the moment you stop asking, "What if?" and start asking, "What now?" life opens. Day 7. Identity Reaffirmation. On the final day, return to the story you wrote on day 1. Read it slowly. Let every sentence anchor into your mind. Then write a single line at the bottom. "I live from this identity now." Stand up. Breathe deeply. Walk as that person for the rest of the day. Posture tall, speech slow, presence grounded. You're no longer reacting from your old self. You're acting as the aligned version you intentionally created. This 7-day ritual is how Stoics rebuild themselves, not in chaos, but in order, not through force, but through clarity, not by chasing motivation, but by setting direction. If you do this week honestly, without shortcuts, your mind will change. Your behavior will sharpen, your presence will strengthen, and from that moment forward, the world will begin responding to you differently. Because you will be different. If you've made it this far, pause for a moment and take a breath. You've just walked through 6 deep Stoic truths and a full 7-day reset designed to reshape your inner world. These aren't theories. These are practices. The same principles warriors, emperors, and thinkers relied on to stay steady in chaos, calm in conflict, and confident in uncertainty. Let's bring everything together. You learned that your mind creates reality twice. First in imagination, then through action. You learned to detach from outcomes, placing your energy only where your influence truly exists. You saw how obstacles carve your strength, how calm sharpens your presence, and how high standards shape the direction of your entire life. You discovered the power of acting as if you cannot lose, because confidence is a posture, not a guarantee. And finally, you rebuilt your identity step by step through the 7-day Stoic reset. But none of this matters if it stays as inspiration. Stoicism is a practice. It only works when you work it. And if you commit to even one of these truths each day, one pause, one act of detachment, one moment of calm, one standard held firm, your life will shift. Not overnight, but certainly, inevitably. Here's what I want you to remember. You're not shaping the world, you're shaping yourself. And the world shifts in response. If this video spoke to you, take a moment to support the channel. Like the video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe for more Stoic guidance and deeper work on the mind. And comment below the affirmation, "Everything aligns when I align." Carry these truths into tomorrow. Walk with calm, act with clarity, hold your standards, trust your path, and live as if everything always works out for you. Not because life is perfect, but because you are becoming the person who knows how to meet life with strength.